Alrighty, so I'm going to try this again with the questions and see how it goes. Just a heads up, I have chronic allergies year round, so I apologize if my breathing is obnoxious. I probably am using the wrong equipment to correctly record my voice. I don't know, I'm just using whatever the iPad has. So I have actually a good amount of questions from everyone that I'm going to try to go over here. And I'm going to try to draw at the same time while I'm, answering all these questions. I have a hard time multitasking, so maybe sometimes I'll get quiet or I may stop drawing so I can talk. We'll see how it goes. I'll just make sure I have some music in the background, so if you don't hear me talking, you at least have some music, so it's not just like quietness. So, like I said, I have a whole bunch of questions here. Hopefully I got everyone's questions. I had to go to a couple different places to collect them all. And if I have the wrong name for you, I do apologize. A lot of you guys have changed your names, so they're tailored to the holiday, which is awesome, but I might not know who you are because you changed your name. I'm a little slow in that realm of remembering nicknames and being able to piece together how you guys have changed them to, be Halloweenish. So, anyways, first questions are from Spooky is Spooky. Spooky asked, what were your first thoughts on creating Wajas? How many players did you expect to get/gain? Well, I've explained before, I think, that Wajas actually started as an adoptable on Pony Island and never actually thought it would turn into a pet site, and it did. And I had no idea, how big things would get and how things would develop, and it just kind of happened overnight, it seems. And we just kind of went with it and tried our best, and we had quite a lot of bumps in the road, and hopefully now we're doing pretty good. I think we are. We have an amazing team, and we have an amazing coder who's able to help us get things done correctly and fixing things up right away. We also added a advertiser onto our team beginning of this year, I believe it was. So that's she's the one that does all the newsletters and things like that. So we're trying to get everyone, up to date and reminding people that we're still here, and offering you guys little goodies. And the newsletter can also help us let you know if there's any issues, if the site goes down or what have you. So it's just nice to have that extra tool at our disposal. About how long have you been drawing for? For as long as I can remember. I've been drawing since I was a child and just kind of kept going, and forever, I guess. Let's see. Vader sent in a question. My only question is if there's anything in the works with regard to any new breeds. It's been a while since there were any new tokens out there, so just curious if there's a twinkle in your eye on that one. Staff and I have gone back and forth a good handful of times about creating a new breed. We're kind of a little scared too, though, to be honest, because it's not as easy as just making the breed art. You have to redraw all the files that goes with that breed art. So, we have anywhere, 30, 40 mutations. Every mutation has to be redrawn to fit that breed. And then we have several hundred markings. All the markings have to be redrawn to fit the breed. And then we have over 3,000 accessories. So all the accessories potentially have to be redrawn. Not all of them are custom per the breed. So if it's a pet that's just kind of floating around, we can just use the same one that we used for a different one. But if it's like a shirt or anything that fits on the breed that's supposed to fit nicely on the breed, that has to be redrawn. So it's a big process. And then not only that, if we add a new breed, then that also means going forward, the 15 breeds that we have turns into 16 breeds. So when you add one more item, that just adds quite a bit more work to the workload for staff. So, we've kind of hesitated to do another breed, but we've also have been thinking of maybe other ways to do things, maybe something a little bit different than what everyone's used to that could still be kind of fun. We haven't made too much progress on it because we've been distracted with other things on the site, but we are trying to figure out some ways to give you guys new content in that regard. But like I said, it's a huge undertaking, and it's not one that we are super anxious to jump into right now. And we do talk about it, but we have to figure out a way to approach that without making it super difficult going forwards. Apocalypse had one question. What was that ear-splitting shriek in the background? Do you have a bird? I'm really sorry. I do have a bird, and most of the time I don't even notice her sounds. I didn't even notice that she had a squawk in there. I do apologize if that was ear-splitting. That's Kruger. I have an item of her on the site. I'm even trying to draw her in my little picture here. So, yes, I do have a bird, and I'm very sorry if she made an ear-splitting shriek. Clanable sent in a handful of questions. What's your favorite brush on Procreate? I find that I love the feel of the studio pen. I use a bunch of different brushes. It really depends on what I'm drawing. Like right now for this bird drawing, I'm using a sketching pencil. It's the Narender pencil. I'm sure I butchered the pronunciation of that word. I enjoy the calligraphy settings for the brush pen. I like to use that for my little signature thing that I do on my videos. I just like how it looks. It's nice and sharp and just smooth and clean. I like that one. For coloring, I found that the round brush is really nice. So the round brush has a little bit of a transparency automatically added to it. And you can just kind of, press harder or whatever to darken it and, lighter to lighten it. Pretty typical pressure sensitivity things. Let's see, I like the airbrushing ones. I mess around with these a lot. It's just kind of a softer edge brush. It helps like if you're trying to paint skin. It's a nice smoother one so you don't see your brush strokes as often. I've messed around with charcoal a little bit. Charcoal has a nice texture to things. So maybe if I'm like doing a tree, I might use the charcoal to fill in some of the texture on the tree. Just kind of saves a little bit of time. Or maybe if I'm doing like a rock, it might be a nice one for rocks. Spray paint, I've made a couple of things with, not too much, but it has a nice speckly feel. I think I used that on the baby dragons that I released yesterday. Then for touch-ups, this one's a little cheating. I admit it, this is kind of cheating, but I like the hair brushes. The hair brushes are, they have like a nice feel to them and just saves me a ton of time rather than doing one little hair at a time. I can just kind of quickly go in and do it this way. And, I just make sure I'm moving my brush around so there's a lot of variances in the flow of the hair. But I do enjoy it because it's so much quicker and I'm not sitting here drawing it hair by hair. I know that's a long time ago and maybe it still is this way, but in the art community, like on DeviantArt, it was really frowned upon to use stamps, but I like stamps if you're able to use it in such a way that it's not terribly obvious that you use stamps and you blend it in nicely. I think that stamps can be really helpful. A lot of professionals even use them when they're drawing. So an artist that I really admire online, Aaron Blaise, a gentleman that did a lot of those Disney movies like Beauty and the Beast and Brother Bear. I follow, or I used to follow a lot of his videos, and he does a lot of stamps, and I've purchased some stamps from him, and a lot of those are a lot of fun. But that's Photoshop. I don't have that on my iPad. So I do enjoy the hair brushes on there. I've poked at this one. It's like little lights. I've poked at that a little bit. I like how it adds like a nice final touch to a picture when you're just, if you have some light or if it's really bright. I like to use that. I've also used a couple of industrial brushes. There's like heavy metal. It gives you this like rough look. It's kind of like a grunge look. There's one that's called Wasteland. It's just like rocks and stuff. Rusted Decay is one I think I've used for trees and rocks before. I like that one too. I've used the twig under organic a couple times again to do more plants like a tree, or maybe sometimes even fur. Maybe that kind of could be a fun one for fur depending on what kind of look you're trying to get your art to have. It's a lot of I've used this one a couple of times. It's like a little cross patch thing. It is iffy though. I think that's be more like an abstract kind of thing, or maybe if you're doing like a black and white pencil sketch or something, it might kind of maintain that sketchy look, but still save you a little bit of time from having to do all those individual little lines. One thing that I've been playing with a lot lately too would be oil paint under the artistic tab. So oil paint gives you like a nice blend. So, if you have your black here, it actually takes in other colors and can blend them in. I do enjoy how that works. So like right now I just have a straight pink color, but because there's black here, it pulls in that black and it can mix it in. It does simulate drawing with wet brushes or oil paint or what have you. There's one for acrylic. Acrylic is okay. I still like that wet brush or the oil paint one because it gives you a nice. I like the brush strokes in it. It's just kind of a nice little added effect to it without having to put tons of like lines and things and trying to work in all those details. Turpentine is one that's also kind of fun. It kind of works the same way, so you can really get that color in there, but then you can kind of blend it around, and it definitely simulates using a real brush. I think that's a lot of fun. And I've been poking with that the last few days, trying to see if maybe I could do some fun wallpapers with it, or some paintings or drawings for YouTube. So I think there's a lot of potential in these types of brushes. I think that's really everything. I probably need to spend some more time with some of these other brushes. I've used this one as Textures Halftone. I've used this one a couple of times on some of my videos on YouTube. I like the little dots in there. Just kind of like a nice abstract kind of texture if you're maybe putting something in the background. It's just kind of nice to get that in there. It gets a nice added texture. So those are the brushes. That question went on a little bit longer than I thought it would. So tips that someone may not know about a feature of Procreate. I'm not the best person to ask that. I'm still very new to this. I'm still trying to explore it and learn it myself. So I'm probably not the best person to ask to give you any pro tips or anything on Procreate. I don't particularly know what I'm doing. I'm just kind of messing around and seeing what works for me. Do you tend to plan what you're going to draw, or are you more spontaneous and create as you go? That really depends on why I'm drawing. So like for Halloween, I knew I wanted to do like a Jack the Pumpkin type dress up, so I had to do items for Jack the Pumpkin. Right now, I knew I wanted to draw Kruger, but I don't know, maybe she'll turn into like a unicorn Kruger and give her like a little unicorn horn or something. I mean, sometimes they can be spontaneous. Unfortunately, though, when I start talking in the videos, I start to get a little delayed, and I have a hard time multitasking, essentially. So I might have something, planned, and then it just goes another way, or I might just stop talking because I'm stalling and trying to figure out what the heck I'm doing. Maybe things will get a little bit easier the more I experiment and try out the talking stuff. Alrighty, Alpha Werewolf sent me 7 questions. Number 1, besides Wajas and stuff for Wajas, what else do you draw? Does the YouTube stuff count? Say for the last month or so, I've been poking around at YouTube, as some of you know, most of you know. Sometimes I do paint on actual canvas. I have a handful of acrylic paintings on the walls. I've given away a few, but not a ton. I have painted rocks before and just scattered those throughout my town. It's really fun to see people find them, and you just put like positive messages on them, and people seem to really enjoy those. It's nice, especially if you're having a bad day and you find those, and if it has like a little message on it or something, it can be really supportive. So I have done some rocks. Painting the rocks was a lot of fun. I got to do that again. Number 2, what's your favorite thing to draw? I guess really my favorite thing is landscapes. I do enjoy landscapes. Dogs are kind of an easy go-to for me if I just want to scribble something out. I do enjoy, scribbling in dogs. I've been trying to challenge myself and try to do portraits of people. People are kind of a struggle for me. They don't come very easily to me, so I've been trying to get better at drawing people. But yeah, landscapes, dogs. I guess probably the things I'm more known for on Wajas are the dogs, hopefully, and the landscapes. I have some landscapes floating around out there. Favorite part of Wajas? My favorite part of Wajas is probably our community. There's a lot of people on here who are super supportive, and I know, like, if I'm having a bad day, there are people who will try to help kind of give me a moment to appreciate other things, and they try to cheer me up. So I really enjoy the people that we have. I think we have a lot of really awesome, friendly people who genuinely do care. So yeah, I think that the community, it's really something to speak of. It's very supportive and kind, and I really do enjoy everybody and all of you who support us every single day and continue to come back. It's been really nice just to interact with everybody. Number 4, why are there so many bananas in your cave? That's kind of a loaded question. So how did that start? I think that was maybe back like in 2009. Tally How on YouTube had posted a video of these guys who were singing about a Banana Man song. And it just was so crazy, and I think it was really popular then, and I used to just randomly post it in the news just to kind of troll everybody, and I've got some staff members who, if you mention Tally How, they'll be like, no, not that again, because the song gets stuck in your head, and you're just kind of stuck in that loop. So every now and then, if it hasn't been mentioned in a while, I'll pull it up, and then some staff get irritated with me. So if I'm feeling, particularly trollish, I'll go and release items on Wajas, like the banana balloon, and then the additional banana balloon, and the orange balloon. Like, I think I have a very variety of balloons there that I release. So it's just, I like to bug people with it. It's just funny to see people's reactions to it. And people just, it seems to give people a good chuckle. So I'm kind of known for those types of pranks. So what people do when they send me random gifts is they send me things with bananas. Or people have designed Wajas to kind of resemble a banana with yellow and green colors, maybe a little bit of brown. So people send me bananas, and I just have kind of embraced it. So, like, my wish list is covered in bananas and Tally How stuff. So it's a long going inside joke that I haven't let die yet. I keep reviving that fire. Did you ever consider closing down the site, and why? That one's a tough one. There were some times when I was a lot younger that I used to find a lot of stress in there. We had some toxic people in the community, and sometimes little changes can have massive responses from people, and we've had mistakes happen before. Like, everybody knows about the rollback and things that that had happened a while back, because we've had some issues within the server side of that. But there's been a few times that, I might have thought, hey, it might be kind of nice not to have the stress of and have to deal with the drama as a young person. That was a tough time. But, it's been a long time since things have been that toxic. I think our community has changed quite a lot from those dark ages, if you will. So there were maybe some times I had some hesitation and thoughts along those lines, but it's been a long time. So I just, I'm proud that we've lasted as long as we have, and we keep pushing out new stuff, and, hopefully we will have a good handful of years ahead of us. Are there any parts of Wajas or items on Wajas that were inspired by things in your life besides Kruger? Yes, actually, a lot of things have. Like, a couple of my pets are on there. There's Kaylee the bunny. She was one of my pets. Elliot, the Greater Swiss Mountain Dog puppy, he was one of my pets. Kruger, obviously. I did a series of saltwater stuff, like fish and coral and things like that. That was inspired by, real life stuff that I had going on. I think I did some landscape like wallpapers based on some places that we might have gone or scenes I had seen myself. 7. Any tips on drawing certain Waja breeds, markings and or mutations? For instance, I can never seem to be able to draw earths or floppy ears. I think probably my best tip I could offer anyone is to look for real pictures online to kind of get an idea of how it works. If you're not familiar with the anatomy of the animal or with drawing that animal, sometimes it can be hard to get things done correctly when you're drawing them. So like floppy ears, maybe you would pull up like a picture of a border collie. Border collies usually, at least some of them, have kind of floppy ears. So if you look at like the very first picture on Google is a border collie with a floppy ear. So you could kind of just draw what you see. So the ear kind of pops up and bends down and has a little lip on the ear, comes back up, and then you have a bit of that fur around there. And I love drawing the little furs there. I usually always draw that when I draw my character as Stuco. I have those long furs there. So yeah, I mean, my best tip is to look at the realest things. If you have a dog with floppy ears, look at the dog's ears. And you could even take pictures of his ears and kind of like put them in a folder on your computer for reference. A lot of people will do that. So they always have their own references, and then you don't have to worry about copyrights or anything. Because, if you go to Google and you draw what you see on Google, sometimes that can be infringement, so you have to be careful what you use online. There's even sites out there that will provide you royalty-free images for references and things like that. So it really depends on where you go. But that's a whole other topic. But just draw from real life. Find a dog that has floppy ears. For that. Horses I kind of struggle with sometimes. Their hooves, they're kind of funky. They have funny anatomy to them. And this is just me drawing without a picture. I know there's like a little thing there, I think, and I think this kind of goes down a little bit. So I'm not really the best at drawing horses, and this is just me kind of drawing off the top of my head. But so the earth Waja has hooves, so you could pull up a picture of some horse feet and just kind of look at the anatomy of the horse feet. And then, the earth Waja has a little floof or whatever on his ankles there, so you can scribble on some ankles, which kind of covers up that annoying little bone in there. You can just delete that bone, and that bone never happened. Nobody knows that I totally butchered the anatomy of that. And then you just kind of throw on the hair, get some little swishes in there, and there you go. Though I think the earth does have much larger hooves, so you could make it bigger, but put a little bit more of a lip right there. But yeah, so you could pull up pictures of real horses and look at their feet to be able to get the anatomy where you want it to be. Alrighty, so now these other questions were posted on my last question and answer YouTube video. The first question was from Eco Breeze. What's your favorite Waja event, like holidays or maybe Virus Takeover? Virus Takeover was pretty cool. Definitely have to give staff credit on that one. I think probably my favorite might actually be Halloween. I enjoy all the Halloween outfits and things that you can do. And it's just kind of fun to do those creepy things that we don't typically do on Wajas. Everything's pretty happy-go-lucky, I guess. So it's nice to do some of the scarier things or the darker things. I definitely think we need to get more holidays on the site, though, because at the end of the year we tend to get slammed with all the different holidays, and then the rest of the year it's kind of mellow. Staff have been helping out, trying to get more things going. Like staff did all Vira on their own. I didn't have really any input on all that. That was their baby, and I know they very much love Vira. She's a staff favorite for sure. Yeah, I think Halloween is probably one of my favorites. Blackfire Cloud asked, if you could add anything at all to the site, what would it be and why? It can be a breed, a mutation, marking, wallpaper, foreground, or item. Anything at all. I would love to add a new breed, but it's so much to add a new breed. How about forced retirement and no more breeding, huh? Would you like that one? Yeah, nobody would like that one. That'd be one way to set the site into chaos and fire and all that. So probably just expand on the mining cave and exploring and have more things to do there. More events that you can encounter and things you can find. Just, I would love to have actually a library of games, kind of like the old Neopet stuff where you have a whole library of different types of games that you can play and have your own music and things like that. I think that would be a lot of fun to have. I think that's it though, maybe a new breed at some point and some more games, exploring, adding more to the exploring stuff. Slytherin Heart, what is your favorite event that takes place on Wajas? That kind of falls in line of the Halloween stuff, I guess. I really enjoy Halloween. Halloween's pretty cool. Heart's Descent asked, any plans for a new breed? Another one. Everybody wants a new breed, I guess. Maybe that should take that as our sign that we need to go and do a new breed. Just kind of suck it up and do all the work, right? What has become some of your old pets that we have as items? Kaylee, for example. Kaylee, I had to rehome a long time ago. I still have Kruger. I'm sure she's squawked a few times throughout the video. Elliot, unfortunately, passed away back in 2012. He had gotten bloat. Didn't have the typical symptoms that bloat usually has, so we didn't know about it until it was too late. The closest vet on the weekend for emergencies is an hour away, and he ended up dying right in my arms. It was a pretty traumatic time. I think I actually had added that puppy as a memorial, maybe, or I don't know. Maybe it wasn't added before, or maybe the puppy was added before that, but he unfortunately passed away due to that, and just wasn't really anything we could do. It was kind of out of our hands, from what I understand from bloat, and I probably just will never have a large breed like that again that is susceptible to having bloat. It was really traumatic, and we've never lost an animal like that before, and all of our animals have always lived a long, happy life with us, and that was a really hard time, especially being pregnant at the time, and myself being pregnant. That was pretty stressful. What are your favorite Disney/animated movies? One of my all-time favorite Disney movies would be Tarzan, believe it or not. I enjoy the music in that. I like the style. It's very different. It's very colorful. That's one that I enjoy watching. I try to get my kids to watch it. They don't always get into it. One of my favorites, it's not Disney though, it's DreamWorks, would be Prince of Egypt. I'm not super religious myself, but I really enjoy how they told the story. I really enjoy the soundtrack that they created for that movie. Thought that was a really good one. And my daughter's obsessed with Frozen. We watched Frozen probably every single day. I guess I don't really have anything else that really comes to mind in terms of animated films. And a lot of you are probably expecting Lion King. But, Lion King's not one that I really got into. It definitely has a lot of really pretty colors, and the way that they animated the expressions and the emotions are really nice. But, I don't know, the story doesn't really hold up for me. And that was it. I loved it as a child. I remember it when it came out. I remember where I was and begging you to go to the movie theater. I've tried to get my son into it when he was an infant. It was kind of the thing we did for the nursery, and he never really got into it, but my husband, it's his favorite animated movie all time is Lion King, so every now and then we hear it, and my son and my husband will randomly break out into the music, even if it's not even relevant to what's going on or anything, and I still kind of have to suffer through some of those songs. What is your favorite mutation on Wajas? I actually really like Punkmane. Punkmane is one of my favorites. The tri-wings, or you can get different colors in, and we have some other fun stuff coming out for mutations, so Birdwings and Punkmane are probably some of my favorites. Oh, sorry, and that was Teary. Next question, if you could grab one custom from anyone on the site, who would it be? It was asked by Emo Sheep. I don't really know. I haven't kept up on what people are creating for customs. I know a little while back, Splinter and Panic had shared some in staff that I really would like to have stolen. But I haven't really kept up on the customs and what people are creating lately, so wouldn't really have a good answer for that one. No, the last custom I really made that I kind of indulged on was for the Boreal Sabers. I made like a little blue guy and just kind of put him up for public breeding at the time for everyone in the sub-breed. But I haven't really kept track of the customs or anything. We should have a page that like just shows off everyone's new customs as they're created. I think that would be a lot of fun. Spooky Oogie. Out of all the Wajas you own, who is your favorite? One of my favorites is my banana African, Nana Freckles, one of my favorite. Staff had surprised me with that custom patch last Christmas. It's the first custom patch that was really for me, I guess. I have a couple others that just end up NPCs like Apollo and Artemis, but the Freckles, Nana Freckles, was more personalized, I guess. So she's one of my favorites. I also have one of the reindeer that was created by Tsubishi Kitsune. I believe I bought into that when it was still being pre-made, so that was one of my favorites. I really enjoy that one. I have one there. Someone took a bunch of banana items and created a dog out of banana items. That was from Yuri's, and it has like banana ears, a banana tail. I think she used the like the ant antenna hinged item for the legs. It has a little tongue, so like that's one of my favorites too. I have a couple others on my profile that I showcase, and sometimes I think the showcase should hold double the amount. 6 sometimes is not enough to show off my favorites, but those are a few that I really enjoy. Tabby Queen asked, I'm curious to how long it takes you to do one of these quick draws. I know it has to take longer than 2 minutes than what the videos are. Yeah, all the videos are sped up. Except for like this one here, because I know that I would talk a lot, and I wouldn't be able to draw something and then have it be long enough for the questions and everything, and sometimes I talk way too much. But usually, maybe on average, about an hour. It really depends, sometimes longer. And yeah, I think those are all the questions. I don't know if anyone has any other questions, or maybe I can just pick random topics and talk about stuff, I guess. It really depends on what you guys want and how you want to see the channel develop or evolve. I had also posted in the news several days ago, a week ago, I don't remember exactly how long, if you guys were interested in doing some kind of like YouTube contest. So I got pretty good feedback on that. So what I would like to do is, when I reach 1,000 subscribers, we will have to do a huge celebration on the site, which might mean throwing in a bunch of customs into the park, maybe including some single-digit IDs or really low IDs and whatever I have saved. Might even do a video. So like right after we hit 1,000 subscribers, I'll do a video, and everybody can comment with their ID on that video to put their name into like a bowl or whatever. And I'll do a random name picker, and whoever happens to get picked for that video could get a free custom of their breed of choice. So kind of make it kind of tempting. See if you guys want to help me build up the channel and see where we can go. I mean, you guys have surprised me before and gone very far with our challenges. So I think that I think we can do it. I think we can get together and get this going. Yep. So I didn't finish my little scribble here, and then I got distracted, but I threw in some pictures overlaid on the video edit, so hopefully it'll still be somewhat entertaining visually. Well, thank you so much for watching, and I will chat with you guys later.